So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough.
Welcome to the Mindset by Design podcast with your host, the expert Andy Murphy, where you will learn the tips, tricks, and strategies he teaches his world-class clients to give you the skills to dominate any business.
What's going on, Mindset by Design crew, and welcome to episode 355. Hope you're amazing as always. I'm always saying it, always mean it. Do you know what? I'm just going to jump straight into it today. I'll tell you about some awesome stuff in a few minutes, so keep listening. But today is an important episode. It really, really is. Yes, I know it's got Steve Jobs in the title. I get it. But you got to learn from these incredible people that have come before us, right? We stand on the shoulders of giants. That's how the world moves. Well, unless you're Elon Musk, who just keeps doing random stuff and changing the world. But besides that, we all go through this as an entrepreneur, and it doesn't really matter what level you're at. It really doesn't. You could be earning millions a year right now. You could just be getting going. This could be the first mental performance podcast or business podcast you've ever heard. So if it is, welcome. This is awesome. You found a new home. But what I really want to touch on today is a topic that's not really talked about. In entrepreneurism, if I can get those words out, everyone talks about the results, right? Everyone talks about the benefits. Everyone talks about the time freedom. Everyone talks about the lifestyle, the money, the success, right? The influence you can have. Everyone talks about that freedom, right? And that's definitely a side of it. It's definitely a side of it, or has the potential, I should say, to be a side of it, right? Not many people actually get to that level where you can just chill, you know what I mean, and stop. No, you're constantly building something. But no one talks about this main topic, right? And what is this main topic? The topic is sometimes, we just want to give up. Sometimes we just want to stop. It's like sometimes we just want to press pause on life, take a little siesta, but for like 6 months, and then carry on again, right? That's we've all had those thoughts. At the end of the day, if money was pumping in, it was pumping in by the millions or hundreds of thousands, right? It gives you a certain type of lifestyle. But what isn't showing is the roller coaster, man. The roller coaster, the highs, the lows, the emotional stress that it takes to achieve that greatness. So when you look at people like Steve Jobs, right? Again, it's the new generation's all about Elon, but Steve kind of changed a few things in the world. But he was one of the most mentally strong people that you can have. In fact, he was that mentally strong. He literally destroyed his health because he just wouldn't stop on his mission, right? He just wouldn't stop. And that's a brilliant thing, but it's also a very bad thing. But what we learn from people in modeling or copying unconscious strategies or patterns, right, in the brain, or behaviors, right? We copy or model very specific behaviors. Now, we can't take all of Steve Jobs the way he treated sometimes his employees because he had such a strong vision, right? And we hear these stories about Elon as well, right? Is very, very militant, and he doesn't come across that way outside of business, but in business he's very militant. But why? Well, he has a very, very crystal clear vision of how things are, and nobody else can see it, man. You know what I mean? Nobody else can see the strength or the clarity of that vision but him or them or you, right? So when that little voice kicks in, when you seem like you're butting your head against the wall, banging your head against the wall, it feels like, things aren't just going right. We all have those thoughts, like we want to throw our hands in the air and just give in, right? We've all had those moments, even if it's for 0.6 seconds, right? And again, it doesn't matter what level you're at. You could be earning millions, could be getting started. You could be listening to this, wanting to get into coaching or wanting to get into some form of online entrepreneurism, and you just don't know where to go. Well, I'll tell you more about that in a second. But the truth behind this is that we all have those feelings. So what I've put together today is an awesome clip, and I've done lots of these before, but there's actually a couple of clips on here I've not played before for you. So really, what is today's episode about? It's to give you a little confidence boost. It's to give you a little motivation. It's to give you a little bit of, do you know what? It's like there's bigger things going on in the world than my little business or whatever you class as a little business or a big business. But whatever it is, it's as long as you can pay the bills and eat, you're good. You know, we come up with a new idea. We create a new possibility. We connect with a new person. We just take each day by day, and we go for it. That's it. There's nothing else to do, right? Once you're in this entrepreneurism game, there's no going back. You're not going to go and get a job. And if you do, it's okay. It's okay. You'll be back on this journey again. But you're not going to get a job in general. You're going to do whatever it takes to make this work. You're going to bring in mentors. You're going to ask for help. You're going to research. You're going to study. You're going to test. You're going to measure. You're going to go for it, right? And all of this is your mindset. It's all of your mental ability. How much can you control your emotions when the pressure's on, the heat's on, right? Most people crumble. And that's okay, man. It's okay. But the rest of us, what do? We go and just keep going. No matter what's happening, if you got $1 in your bank, then you'll go and make $2. If you need money, you'll go and just do whatever it is. And really, everything's about frequency, about what's programmed in your unconscious mind, and your work ethic, going out there and making it happen. And then it's consistency, belief, just unwavering belief that you can win, right? That's it. So that's what today's episode's about. Like it? Thought you might. But I do have something to share. I do. And I'm really calling out all entrepreneurs in general, for sure, but I'm calling out coaches right now. And this could be health coaches, fitness coaches, sales coaches, spiritual coaches. It could be business coaches. It could be mindset coaches. It doesn't matter, right? You've got a superpower. You need to get more exposure. You need your brain or unconscious mind tuning, and you need to hang around with 2 people who can help you do both of those, because they've done it with some of the best in the world. From Ryan working with Apple, Verizon, NFL, from me working with Saudi royalty, 9-figure CEOs, and world champions athletes, people going through IPO. We got some things that we want to teach you. And really what we're putting on is on the 18th and 19th of this month, yes, May 2022. If everything goes right, we might put it back a week. I've got some traveling to do, but right now it's on the 18th and 19th. And what we've done is we've put together something very, very special. And I'm pumped about it. And you should be pumped about it too, because this is your way to get access to us without spending tens of thousands of dollars. Plain and simple, right? So we have a strategically designed 4 steps to show you exactly how to take your industry, right? Whatever industry that's in. And instead of being lost in the noise, no, we do the opposite, right? We show you how to get massive exposure through building your personal brand, right? And bringing in clients. And let me explain the 4 steps. So step 1, what we got to do is we've got to unlock the next big trend that is about to happen, right? Because no matter what's going on in your industry, there's a new angle, right? And we're going to help you expand into that blue ocean. So we're going to look at your industry, and we're going to absolutely unlock what that next blue ocean, that next hyper trend is. Then what we're going to do is mentally and marketingly, that's even a word, but what we're going to do then is number 2 is we're going to sniper focus on what they need right now and the psychological triggers to get them to desire it. Would that be helpful? Right, so number one is what? Unlock the next big blue ocean, the next big trend that's about to happen that you can tap into. Number two, what is it? Yeah, is you're going to sniper focus on what they want right now, and then the psychological triggers to get them to desire it, right? That's number two. What's number three we're going to show you on day two? Yeah, we're going to use your already super talents and superpowers and wisdom to create the solution that exactly they need. That's it, right? So you can deliver. And then guess what? Number four is we're going to design a result that will blow their mind and solve exactly what they need so they keep coming back to the next stage. That's it. It's called Riches in the Niches. You know, it's a 2-day live immersion helping coaches to remove fear, build sniper-like focus, and be massively in demand. Would that be helpful? Yeah, of course it would. So you need to go to the show notes. Links there. It's nice and clear. But otherwise, you need to go to theradicalformula.com. theradicalformula.com. And what you're going to do is you're going to click on the little button that says Masterclass. And you don't even have to sign in. I've taken that away. You can see exactly what this is and you can join. Instead of paying tens of thousands, guess what? It's $297. That's it. That's it. So you get to come and hang out with us, learn all of this stuff, dial your brand in, and yeah, $297. Pretty damn cheap. Yeah, it's pretty damn cheap, but it's worth a few thousand, and that's what we're going to be charging in the future. So you can jump onto this first one for a monster discount, and yeah, Riches in the Niches. Step 1, unlock the big trend. Step 2, sniper-like focus. Step 3, use your super talents and superpowers and wisdom. Step 4, what we're going to do is show you how to design the result that's going to blow their mind and keep them coming back. Sound good? Good. Head over to what? You got it, theradicalformula.com. Click on Masterclass, not Mastermind. That's coming. Masterclass, and guess what? You can join today. $297. And the value is going to be massive. And you know what? If you come back to me after those 2 days and say, Andy, I didn't feel the value, I'm going to give you your money back. That's simple. That's simple. So jump on that today and let's go and kick ass together. Sound good? Beautiful. Go and do that right now, just before we jump into today's episode. And yeah, I'll be seeing you very, very soon. Okay, let's do this. Let's go and jump into Steve Jobs, and I will see you at the end of the show.
The thing I would say is, when you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact. And that is, everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
Okay, crew, let me jump in there first of all. It's probably one of the most truest statements ever. Do you know what I mean? And as an entrepreneur, this is what we do. We have an idea, check it's good, check we like it, and then go and just see what we can do and put it out to the world. But shouldn't everyone be doing that? Maybe, maybe not. But people in corporate go, well, no, that's crazy. Where's the stability? But the person that they're working for did that. Do you know what I mean? The person they're working for took that risk. The person they're working for had that idea. And what Steve is talking about, and it's like he obviously coming from a marketing aspect, but it's not. It's coming from a mental performance aspect. How to switch on your genius state. How to switch on creativity. How to switch on laser focus. How to network, communicate. All of these things. And it is what builds a brand, builds a business, right? Even with this podcast, where did it come from? It came out of my imagination. Or maybe it didn't, right? It came out of the ether, it came out of the universe, maybe, but it came out of my imagination. And because of that, what we're on 355 episodes later, that's probably like 355 hours of me talking. Do you think you might learn a few things and bringing guests on and all the rest of it? Of course you do, right? So once you understand, just like the brain, it's malleable, right? Life is malleable. It's changeable. And you can start molding it any which way you want. Now, what most people do is why the episode is called this. People try and then give up. It's like there's so many, it's called podcast fading, right? I learned this the other day, I didn't realize. There's so many people out there that have started podcasts, 10 episodes in, 20 episodes in, thinking they're awesome. That's it, done. On to the next thing. It's too tricky, not getting numbers, they give up. But what Steve's saying is, no, don't do that. Understand that the world is malleable, your brain is malleable, your ideas are infinite. Play with them.
Most people don't get those experiences because they never ask. I've never found anybody that didn't want to help me if I asked them for help. I always call them up. I called up, this will date me, but I called up Bill Hewlett when I was 12 years old, and he lived in Palo Alto. His number was still in the phone book. And he answered the phone himself. He said, yes? He said, hi, I'm Steve Jobs. I'm 12 years old. I'm a student in high school, and I want to build a frequency counter. And I was wondering if you had any spare parts I could have. And he laughed, and he gave me the spare parts to build this frequency counter, and he gave me a job that summer in Hewlett-Packard, working on the assembly line, putting nuts and bolts together on frequency counters. He got me a job in the place that built them. And I was in heaven. And I've never found anyone who said no or hung up the phone when I called. I just asked. And when people ask me, I try to be as responsive, to pay that debt of gratitude back. Most people never pick up the phone and call. Most people never ask. And that's what separates sometimes the people that do things from the people that just dream about them. You gotta act. And you've got to be willing to fail. You've got to be willing to crash and burn. With people on the phone, with starting a company, with whatever. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far. People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it, and you don't really love it, you're going to give up. And that's what happens to most people, actually. If you really look at the ones that ended up, being successful, unquote, in the eyes of society, and the ones that didn't, oftentimes it's the ones that are successful loved what they did so they could persevere when it got really tough. And the ones that didn't love it quit because they're sane, right? Who would want to put up with this stuff if you don't love it? So it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of worrying constantly. And if you don't love it, you're going to fail. So you got to love it. You got to have passion.
I love this, and I'm on 100% on the same page, man. If you don't love what you do, then stop it and do something else. Because at the end of the day, you're going to spend most of your life doing it, or a big chunk of time, and there's going to be sacrifices, there's going to be consequences, health, stress, family, time, all of these things, right? Well, that's what it takes to achieve greatness. It's like an athlete, right? You don't expect an athlete just to get good at their craft. No, you know that they're hustling behind the scenes, taking ups and downs, getting slapped in the face, theoretically or maybe physically. But you know what? That's what it takes, man. To achieve greatness, you have to perform great. It's that simple, right? So if you don't love it, well, work out why. And if you can't find the love for it, then you need to change your path. Because what you're going to do, you're going to keep saying yes to something that doesn't serve you, that makes you sad, that doesn't work. No, you're not. You're going to keep going. And the truth is, it's like we can go, you've all heard these stories. It's like even the KFC dude, right? Colonel Sanders. He didn't even create that recipe until he was 65 years old. And then everybody said, well, everybody, I think like it was a stupid amount, like 100 people wouldn't invest. 100 people said they wouldn't do it. Even with Facebook, it goes on and on and on, right? So when you understand that, it's okay. It's okay. You just got to be kind on yourself and make sure that you're absolutely in alignment with the vision that you're building in your brain.
I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. It is so hard. You pour so much of your life into this thing. There are such rough moments in time that most people give up. I don't blame them. I mean, it's really tough, and it consumes your life. I mean, if you've got a family and you're in the early days of a company, I can't imagine how one could do it. I'm sure it's been done, but it's rough. I mean, because it's pretty much an 18-hour-a-day job, 7 days a week for a while. So unless you have a lot of passion about this, you're going to not survive. You're going to give it up. So you got to have an idea or a problem or a wrong that you want to right that you're passionate about. Otherwise, you're not going to have the perseverance to stick it through.
That is my number one value in business. I've been through a lot of rough times in my life, right? Not mind the childhood traumas and all the rest of it, but then the roller coaster of going over to the other side of the world when I was 24 years old, becoming top performer in 2 different countries in investment real estate, putting together a project to build a $100 million resort in Fiji when I was 27. Then the market crashed. Then I went through a nervous breakdown. I went through bankruptcy. My business partner stole all my money, right? Then left me just in a mess. You know what I mean? Then I went to LA. Then I was in credit card debt. Then I hustled. Then I built a career over the past 15 years, 14 years probably, after that, right? To be one of the top in the world for what I do now. And the truth behind it is, man, you just got to keep going. That's all it is. And the other truth is, I'm going to say lots of truth, but the other truth is, it's not really not that important. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to change the world. I'm going to change my world. I'm going to change as many people as I can. World, that's my value, obsession, is to make sure that people don't have to go through the pain that I've been through. That they can learn the lessons faster and easier. That's why we're launching this thing with Ryan, right? TheRadicalFormula.com. It's for this reason. We see so much bullshit being taught out there that about success and building companies and business and marketing and mental performance, it's bullshit, right? So what we're here to do is actually show you exactly the right steps so we clear that path for you. That's what we're doing, right? So love what you do, be persistent, and just keep going.
It's very interesting. I was worth about over $1 million when I was 23 and over $10 million when I was 24. And it wasn't that important because I never did it for the money. I think money is a wonderful thing because it enables you to do things. It enables you to invest in ideas that don't have a short-term payback and things like that. But especially at that point in my life, it was not the most important thing. The most important thing was the company, the people, the products we were making, what we were going to enable people to do with these products. So I didn't think about it a great deal. I never sold any stock, and just really believed that the company would do very well over the long term.
I love this point. I really do love this point. Are you doing it to help and to give, or are you doing it to get? Do you know what I mean? It's that simple. If you're after the money, then there's many ways to get money, right? You could build a gambling site. You could build anything, right? Doesn't mean it feels good. Doesn't mean it's going to make you happy, but you can get money. But the difference is, are you here to create change in the world? Whether it's in any capacity, right? It could be a tiniest thing to the biggest thing. But are you here for that? Because just like what Steve said, the money gave him the lifestyle, but he's busy building something, so it didn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? And if it doesn't really matter, then you're just going to keep building. But everybody these days, everyone, wrong word, so many people out there are getting to entrepreneurism for all the wrong reasons. They're not really building a company. What they're interested in is getting money so they can create a lifestyle. And the lifestyle then is what they want to show off to get external validation, right? To make themselves feel good. But the truth behind it is that external validation will never make you feel good. Or if it does, it's very, 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 very temporary. I've been there, I get it, right? But behind it, why are you building this? That's the food for thought.
I'm working pretty hard. So there are a lot of people, but I'm one of them. My car's there pretty early and it's in the parking lot pretty late and on weekends. And I value my family time a lot. So I'm pretty committed to this and seeing Apple turn around. The company, I started the company with Steve Wozniak in my parents' garage 20 years ago, and over 22 years ago. And so there's a definite place in my heart for this. I'm drawing a salary of, I think, $1 per year. So I hope I'm not burdening the shareholders too much. And I very much want to see Apple get turned around, and I think it's gonna. So I don't know how much more committed I could be. If people need these symbols, well, maybe that'll happen, I don't know. But my answer to them is I don't know how I could be working any harder. And
sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. You've got to find what you love. And that is as true for work as it is for your lovers. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. When I was young, there was an amazing publication called the Whole Earth Catalog. It was created by a fellow named Stuart Brand, not far from here in Menlo Park, and he brought it to life with his poetic touch. Stuart and his team put out several issues of the Whole Earth Catalog, and then, when it had run its course, they put out a final issue. It was the mid-1970s, and I was your age. On the back cover of their final issue was a photograph of an early morning country road, the kind you might find yourself hitchhiking on if you were so adventurous. Beneath it were the words, "Stay hungry, stay foolish." It was their farewell message as they signed off. Stay hungry, stay foolish. And I have always wished that for myself. And now, as you graduate to begin anew, I wish that for you. Stay hungry, stay foolish.
Okay, crew. So let's wrap that up. Stay hungry, stay foolish, stay on the mission, make sure you're aligned. That's it, right? That's it. You can do this. It's not rocket science, but it requires you to be a special type of version of you. It really, really does. And that special type of version of you is built, it's designed, right? You have to have something inside of you that I can't give you. That's the burning desire. But what I can give you is everything else. Just doesn't matter who I've worked with, that's what we do. We tune their brains up to perform at the highest level. And that's what I want to do for you over 2 days. We're going to show you all the marketing stuff that's right. I'm going to tune your unconscious mind up to perform at your very best that you knew was possible, you've had experience of in the past, and you want it again. And that's what we're here for. So head over to the show notes or click or type in, you can type it in if you want, theradicalformula.com. Head to Masterclass, click on there, join. It's $297 instead of $2,000. You can do it. Just make sure you're doing it. If you're a coach, you've gone through our 4 points. It's going to change your life. I know it will, and it's just the start of our journey together. So head over there, theradicalformula.com, hit Masterclass, riches in the niches. Let's zone you in. Let's switch on that focus. Let's get clear, and let's show you how to make lots of money and help lots and lots and lots of people. Sound good? Beautiful. So do that now, and that's the end of episode 355, crew. So let's wrap it up. But until I speak again, much love. You have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. And oh yeah, one more thing. 355 times I've done this now. One more thing. Why don't you smile for me?
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of the Mindset by Design podcast with your host and NLP expert, Andy Murphy. We'll catch you next time.